In the Qing Dynasty city of Jinan, there was a temple garden famous for its peonies. Every spring, the flowers bloomed in colors so pure and forms so perfect that visitors came from across the region just to stand before them. Among the regular visitors was a young scholar named Huang Sheng, but he did not come for any flower. He came for one, the white peony. He had seen many flowers in his life, but nothing like this one. Its petals were translucent in the sunlight. Its scent was soft and lingering. He began talking to it, first with embarrassment, then with naturalness, then with the ease of speaking to a friend. He wrote poems for it. He brought it wine. The other scholars laughed. He did not care. One evening, late in the garden, he was startled by a soft voice. A young woman stood before him, dressed in white, her face luminous as a flower petal. She said, "You have been speaking to me all this time. I thought only right to answer." Her name was XiangYu, fragrant jade. She was the spirit of the white peony, and she had been listening. They spent many evenings together in the garden. She told him about the inner life of flowers, how they felt the seasons, how they remembered years of sun and rain, how they recognized the footsteps of those who loved them. He read poetry to her. She laughed at his jokes. He had never felt so understood. She had never felt so seen. Then one day, a powerful local prince heard about the famous white peony. He wanted it for his private garden. He sent men to take it. Huang Sheng begged them to stop. He offered money, then pleaded, then wept. They took the flower anyway. The powerful do not negotiate with scholars. XiangYu came to him one last time, faint, barely there. She said, "I cannot live away from this soil. The prince will not keep me long. I will fade, but I will not disappear. Remember this place." He watched her become less and less distinct until there was only the empty garden and the empty spot where the white peony had been. He returned to the garden every day. He knelt at the empty spot. He wrote poems and read them aloud to the bare earth. He poured wine into the soil. The other scholars said he had lost his mind. Perhaps he had, or perhaps he understood something they did not. That love, once real, does not simply end because the beloved is gone. Near the empty spot, a red peony began to bloom, one that had not been there before. Its spirit emerged, a young woman in crimson robes, warm and gentle. Her name was XiangYu, Crimson Snow. She told him she had watched his devotion and been moved by it. She could not replace XiangYu, but she could keep him company in his grief. And she did. Days passed, months. He did not stop. Every morning he came to the garden. Every evening he poured a little wine into the earth. He spoke to the empty soil as he had once spoken to the flower. He was not performing grief. He was simply faithful, the kind of faithful that does not require an audience or a result or a reward. Then, as XiangYu had predicted, the prince's white peony died. The prince had not known how to love a flower. He had only known how to take one. With her roots torn from the earth, she knew XiangYu had faded. And now, in the original garden, something was stirring in the soil. A familiar root, a familiar scent, a familiar presence returning. She came back, a white shoot from the old root, pushing through the earth. And with it, XiangYu, faint at first, then stronger. She stood before him again, thinner, softer, but still there. She said, "Your wine nourished me even in the spirit world. Your voice kept me tethered." He wept. She did not. She smiled instead, the smile of a flower that has survived winter. She told him she could not promise to stay. She was a flower spirit. She lived by the rhythm of seasons, not the rhythm of human lifetimes. She would bloom and fade, bloom and fade. But she would always come back when he called her name. He said, "Then I will always call it." She said, "I know. That is why I came back." Years passed. Huang Sheng grew old. His hair turned white as the petals of the flower he loved. But every season, the white peony bloomed. Every season, he returned. XiangYu came less often now. Each reunion briefer, each goodbye gentler. But she always came, and he always waited. That was the shape of their love, not continuous, but faithful. The white peony still blooms in that garden today, or a peony like it in a garden like that one. Songling, who wrote this story 300 years ago, said he heard it from someone who knew the scholar. Whether that is true, whether any of it is true, is perhaps not the most important question. The most important question is, do you recognize the feeling? The feeling of loving something that cannot fully belong to you. The feeling of returning to an empty place because something that mattered happened there. The feeling that if you are faithful enough, patient enough, present enough, the thing you love will find its way back. Huang Sheng knew this feeling. So did XiangYu. So perhaps do you. Songling wrote strange tales from a Chinese studio in the 17th century. He spent 40 years collecting ghost stories, fox spirit stories, flower spirit stories, the kind of stories that educated men of his time were supposed to dismiss as superstition. He collected them anyway. He understood that the heart's truest experiences often take impossible forms. Your wine nourished me even in the spirit world. Your voice kept me tethered. XiangYu, the Peony Flower Girl. From Strange Tales from a Chinese Studio by Songling. Qing Dynasty. 17th century.